What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie BBQ, and I am here with the biggest Kettle Grill I've ever seen in my life. My boy Mike brought it up here. He has a Facebook page. Listen, if you're on my channel and you have a Kettle Grill or something like that, you need to get on his page. I'm telling you, you got good stuff on there. I don't know anything about this Kettle Grill, but I'm going to let him get into it and tell us a little bit about it.
Thanks. So my name is Mike Allen. I'm from the Kettle Cookers Facebook group. You can also find me on Instagram at the Kettle Cookers. Yeah, this is the biggest grill that Weber makes. It's a Weber Ranch kettle. It's about 37 inches in diameter. Weighs about 150 pounds. The cooking grate alone, which is a hinge grate, weighs about 26 pounds. And I've got it set up today with the Adrenaline Barbecue Ranch Kettle Slow N Sear. So if you take a look at this, it's got a grate in the bottom so you can sift out your charcoal when you're done if you don't use it all. It's got a water reservoir here so you can fill this up for slower cooking. It gives you humidity in the grill, and it also creates a barrier between your charcoal and your meat.
So this is a close-up of this grill, and I'm telling you, when I first saw this thing, I couldn't believe how big it was. As a matter of fact, there was a 22-inch Kettle Grill that was sitting next to it, and I actually had to ask what the size was because I thought it was almost like a 18-inch grill. Okay, here's the lid of a 22-inch Kettle Grill. Now, a lot of you guys that are on my YouTube channel know that I just bought a 26, and my 26-inch made this made that 22 look small, and this just makes it look like infinitesimal. I just can't believe how big this thing is. We're out at Jason Ganal's restaurant, GQue Barbecue in Colorado. We're going to be doing a little bit of a cook on it, so I might be able to get a little bit of footage on that, so we'll kind of go from there.
Everybody, I'm Dave Parrish from Adrenaline Barbecue. We invented this Slow N Sear Ranch Kettle Edition here that is in this very large ranch kettle grill. I'm here with my boy Mike Allen. He is the administrator for the Facebook group, the Kettle Cookers. They're a sister brother group with us on Facebook, so you should check them out. If you're a member of our group, by all means, go join theirs as well. I've never cooked on one of these before, and later today we're going to be doing a steak cook. Mike has some more experience with it. I've noticed there are some key differences between the ranch kettle and either the 22-inch or the 26-inch, and I thought I'd just hit Mike up with a couple of questions and let him talk through why he thinks Weber designed this big boy the way he did, the way they did. So the first thing I noticed is that there are no handles on the grate. I understand the grate is 26 inches in diameter. That thing is huge. It's got some really nice openings to get charcoal in, but there's no handles on it. So why do you think they did that?
I think the handles would just be a potential point of failure on such a heavy-duty grill like this.
Right. But you're going to stress those welds every time you pick it up. And
yeah, I mean,
as a guy that deals with that kind of thing, I can see that.
Yeah, and with it being so heavy, I mean, that's a lot of weight on those handles.
Yep.
It also, just like your easy spin grate, it allows this grate to spin. There's nothing inside for it to get hung up on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is with the let's just get this out of the way. We don't need this today, or just yet. So they molded the Rancher to hold the top grate. So there's no tabs built into the kettle like they usually do with the 22 and the 26. But they didn't put a tab in for this bottom charcoal grate, so it kind of moves around. What do you think the reason was for not having that?
And it does move around. You got to kind of be careful to put it in level.
Yep.
But not having the tabs, again, that's another failure point. Anywhere there's going to be welds, if you look at people's kettles and you see spots where there's no porcelain,
right,
it's almost always where those grate tabs are.
Yeah, and it's hard for the machine to get under there and spray the enamel under, especially where the metal curves away. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And this would be a lot of weight on those tabs, so it would. You would wonder if it could even, if the tabs would even support it for long. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, this Rancher still has the three. Let me see if I don't know if it's on camera, but this Rancher has a 3-vent design of Weber days of old. Why do you think they do that and there's no ash removal system?
That's a great question. I mean, if they had a one-touch in here, it would definitely make it a lot easier to clean out. This thing's kind of a pain in the butt to clean out.
Yep.
But I think, especially for slow cooking, having the 3 separate vents just gives you a lot more control.
Okay.
You know, I don't have any problems. I can usually get this thing going and keep it within 10 degrees once I get the vents dialed in without having to touch it. It'll go 6-8 hours without touching it.
Okay, that makes sense. Another thing I would think about is that a bladed system that covers this whole area, you would need a very large arm to move it, and whenever you got grease on it, it would be prone to bending away. And we know that's one of the problems with the one-touch removal system is those blades do eventually, you know, move away from the porcelain. They stop working, and you have to replace them.
Yeah, and that would be, you know, if they did that, like you said, it would be such a big thing. It would probably be $75 to replace it.
Right.
You know, every couple of years. Where with this, again, less failure points. This is kind of as close to commercial grade as you can.
Exactly. It's meant to last for a while. All right, let's get this lid down. There's one last thing I'd like to do. So it's got 2 handles. I think it's kind of obvious why it needs 2 handles. It's a really big lid, but there's no thermometer, which I guess maybe they just decided the lid's too far away from the cooking grate for that to work. But we've got this one honking vent on the top instead of, you know, one on the side or maybe a couple on the side, or like the regular kettle. Why do you think they did that?
You know, I'm not sure of that. You know, when I first got it, I kind of thought the same thing. I'm used to putting my vent over where the food is. But I can tell you that when I get it going and put some wood in here for smoke, you know, just like all Webers, it's not super airtight.
Right.
And you will see smoke kind of leaking all the way around the lid, which I'm okay with that. Some people don't like a leaky lid. When I see smoke leaking out from under my lid, and I mean, it doesn't come pouring out of this grill.
Right.
But when I see smoke coming out of the front, I know that I've got smoke on my food up there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got probably a better seal than Kettle just because you have that tab, and then you've got a double fold here in the metal. But yeah, it's I can tell just squeezing it down that it's not flush. So, and you know, my experience with the top vents, and one thing I'm kind of surprised by is those lower vents have very small holes, but this one has very big holes.
Yeah, it's the same exact vents on any of the other kettles.
I think they're assuming some air is going to come around the lid, and that's the reason they did that. But my experience is the top lid versus the side, or top vent versus side vent doesn't have a huge effect on your smoke flavor. And you know, Kamados and other style grills are usually centered anyway, so it's probably not a big deal. Does that get hot?
Yep.
Yeah, so you need to be careful with that. Use tongs or something.
Yeah, and it does slide really easily. So I mean, it's easy to just give it a quick bump.
Yep.
I have found with this, if I really want to get it hot, if I leave it wide open, which is what you normally do with a kettle, you're wanting to draw in as much air as you can. This actually exhausts a little too much to keep up with the bottom vent, so I'll usually close it down a little bit of the way. That's where I be for a hot cook.
All right, so we'll be leaving the lid off today later when we do some searing. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey man, I think that was a big help. That answers a lot of the questions I had from seeing this cook. I mean, I've seen it in stores before. This is the first time I've ever looked at one closely. We invented the Slow N Sear for it based on feedback from customers. Like I said, today is going to be the first time I'm ever cooking on one of these things, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I promised you some special guests today. The first one I want to introduce you to is David Parrish. David is the inventor of the Slow N Sear. You guys have probably seen it popping up on other people's YouTube channels. He's got the best techniques for making grilled meat on the Weber kettle. David, what are we going to be cooking today?
All right, today we're going to be cooking the perfect New York strip. We're going to slow smoke it, followed by a cold grate sear.
Wow.
Best thing you ever had.
That sounds absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to try it. We have a giant Weber pit right here. Where did we get that from? Mike, where did you find that Weber kettle at?
I found it on Craigslist.
Awesome. Well, I cannot wait to see your techniques on that grill. Let's get cooking.
Let's get cooking. A half teaspoon of kosher salt per pound of steak. And the reason we do that is the salt over time goes deep into the meat, and then it takes the muscle fibers and it unwinds them a little bit. That traps the water in between them and gives you a tender, more flavorful result and a lot more juicy. Doesn't really matter where we put them, because the whole indirect side is fairly even in temperature. Now that we've got this placed, we're going to probe a few of them on our temperatures. Probe in the middle so we can flip them. All right, now that we've got all 3 probes in, we're good to go, so we'll close the lid. Go ahead and spin these things. We want to get back to a cool grade. You can see we had some flame ups on the charcoal and not on the meat. That's one of the great factors of the cool grate quality. Alright, now that we've got another cold portion of the grate exposed, we get the steaks back over, look at the color we're already getting, and that's after only just a minute. Let's go another minute, and then we will spin and flip again.